A very good morning to all the students. Welcome to this session for paper 5, Indirect Tax Laws at final level. This is the session for success at CA exams, and this is session 2 in this series. In fact, most of you would have attended the session 1 for series also, for this series, in which we had apprised you with full tips for the examination as well as for the preparation. In that session, we focused that how you can prepare for the examination with full efficiency. What are the memory tips? What are the points you need to remember? What are the publications which you need to refer? In fact, we discussed the applicable position of law, which is which a student should be aware of for May 2025 examination. In this session, we will focus entirely on May 2025 examination. So for May 2025 examination, I would once again like to reiterate for those who would have joined us today. And in fact, we will advise everyone, those who have not watched the previous session, please go through the previous session also. That will help you in knowing the basic tips for the examination as well as the errors which you might commit in the examination and which you can avoid. This was a very important feature of last session, and we want all our students to be aware of those mistakes so that they do not commit those mistakes in the examination. I will discuss those mistakes during the session, some light on the type of discussions which we had in the previous session. But before that, let me apprise you with the applicable position of law for May 2025 examination. So for May 2025 examination, a student should be aware of the amendments in the GST law, CGST Act as well as IGST Act, amended by Finance Number 2 Act 2024, as well as the notifications and circulars issued up to 31st October 2024. So the cutoff date is 31st October 2024, and you all should be aware of that because whatever amendments have taken place after that, and you might be aware of them during your articleship period, maybe in your office, you might have come across them. But for examination, you have to take into account that only the questions should be answered on the basis of this position. And you will find this in the instructions to your question paper also. So please take this into mind. And for this, the study material which is relevant is November 2024 edition of the study material. So you should refer that. It has all the amendments which are applicable for the current examination. And we advise all of you to go through the questions which are updated as per the amended position, all the examples, illustrations. In fact, let us recapitulate session that acts as a summary for all the almost all the chapters. The summary has been given to you. So before the examination, you can refer that summary. You can refer that for revision purpose. In fact, they can act as your notes also. So in order to make them comprehensive, you can add certain points because every student has its own preference. When we want to revise before exam, we want something customized. So we always recommend students that you should customize those let us recapitulate session as per your convenience or as per your preparation. You feel that certain points should be given, certain points should be added in the let us recapitulate session, then you can add it. In fact, for revision, day before examination revision, we had given certain very useful tips last time. I will give a brief of that today because all of you who are there with us in the session, your exams are there after almost 10 to 12 days, your examination will start. So you should know those tips. And the most important tip is that first you should have a revision material ready with you. You should have this planning in your mind that how you are going to revise day before examination. Don't start it haphazardly that once you come after giving the previous examination, you take out all the books and you started revising. No, don't do it without planning because that will not help you, or maybe you are not able to revise the entire concept. So have a revision material ready and have a planning in mind that yes, these concepts you will be revising from this material. You can refer your book also if you feel that certain content you want to highlight in the book, that you can do at this point of time. Moreover, for questions also, we generally suggest that the students should always mark the questions which they find complex or they find some difficulty, some tricky points in some of the questions. Those questions also you should mark, and you should you should take those questions in the day before examination. You should take out those questions and you should revise them. So day before examination, we never advise you to solve them because that time you do not have at that point. Only thing you can do is you can just have a glance at the tricky points. You can have a glance at the points where you have some issues in the preparation time. So those questions also you should revise. That will give you a kind of confidence when you are appearing for the examination. In fact, in today's session, we'll be taking case scenarios and questions also, if time permits, we'll take of the revision test paper for May 2025 examination. In fact, we want our students to be aware that how they can attempt the case scenarios in the examination. What are the points you need to remember? And this will help you in revising the concepts also, important concepts through this case scenarios. You have to be very careful while attempting the case scenarios. We'll be taking you through each of the case scenario of the RTP. Then we'll be taking you through other questions also, if time permits, so that you are now, because we have apprised you of the preparation, how you have to prepare for the examination. In fact, last time we also helped you in the memory techniques, in knowing the memory techniques for the examination. Plus, we discussed how can you manage time in the examination. So at this point of time, the question solving is more important. One of the important features, as I just discussed with you, was commonly committed errors. It is always said that we learn from others' mistakes. So if we learn from others' mistakes, that is a bonus for us. Because if we commit that mistake and then we learn from it, then time will, we have to fail once. But if we are learning from others' mistakes, that will help us in succeeding without any failure. So that is why we had collated commonly committed errors which we had come across through interaction with various students in the examination. And we had discussed that in the last session. We had apprised you of the way of presenting the computational questions, because that is a pain area for most of the students. They are not aware that how we should present the question. In fact, many mock test papers which students send to us, we find that they just mention the section number in the answers or in the explanatory notes to the computational questions, which we strongly advise the students not to do so. Just writing the section number will not suffice. In fact, sometimes students have a view or they have this impression in their mind that if we write the section number, that will only suffice without writing the provision. It is the other way around, actually. If you are writing the questions if you're writing the section numbers without properly bringing out the provision, that will not help you in scoring the marks. In fact, you will be able to score marks when you write the provision, even if you do not write the section number, rule, notification, circulars, because we focus more on provisions. Even at final level, we say whenever you are quoting any section, rule, please be very sure of it. And that section, that rule or notification number should be duly corroborated by the provision of the law. So today we'll be starting with the case scenarios of the revision test papers. Let us start with the first case scenario, and I request all of you to participate by answering the questions, by providing your answers in the chat box, so that we can know that yes, whether you are with us in this session or not, and you are able to understand that provision or not. Keep posting your queries, your answers in the chat box, so that this session becomes interactive and you are able to gain the understanding of the provisions. So I think we can start with the session with the case scenario, Swati.
Yeah. Good morning, students. So yes, ma'am has very categorically explained you the importance of the session which we took earlier as well, success at CA exam, the session number 1. It was very helpful because in that session we highlighted the key areas which you need to bear in mind while appearing for examination, common mistakes which are committed by students, and it is always better to learn from other mistakes than learning from committing our mistakes and learning from them. So I advise you, I recommend to you that whenever you get time, if any of you have missed that session, please go through that session. And now let's start with the revision test paper case scenario, so that you have a fair idea how to go through the case scenario, how to approach the questions given therein. And as you know, for the case scenarios for multiple choice questions, you don't have to give your answers. You don't have to substantiate your answers. You don't have to mention the reasoning for the same. But here we will discuss with you the reasons so that you are able to understand the provisions. You are able to appreciate the reason behind the correct answer. Why a particular answer is correct? What is a statutory legal provision behind that? So let's start with it. I am sharing with you the revision test paper. If you have the RTP, you can also open it, and or if you don't have, you can read along with me. So I hope that my screen is available to you.
Yes, Swati, your screen is visible.
Okay. As ma'am has already told you that for May 2025 examination, the cutoff date is 31st October 2024. Since we have also highlighted at the beginning of the our revision test paper, our question paper, that all the questions have been answered on this position of law. Similarly, in the examination also, you will get this this point highlighted on the top of the page, that all the questions you would need to answer on the basis of the GST law as amended by the Finance Number 2 Act 2024, including significant notification in circulars and other legislative amendments made up to 31st October 2024. So all the amendments made by Finance Number 2 Act 2024, which have become effective up to 31st October 2024, are only applicable for the May 2025 examination. Similar position is applicable in case of customs law. And as we know that during examination also, the rates of goods or services which are given to you in the question paper, they are the hypothetical one. They may not necessarily be the actual rates which are available on those goods as well as services. But whatever rate is given to you in the question paper, that you have to apply irrespective of whether it is actual rate or not, because we don't expect the students to memorize the GST rates in case of goods and services. Only in case of composition levy of tax, students are expected to remember the rate which would be applicable to them. So let's start with the questions. Case scenario number 1. I am going to read with you. You may also start reading with me. And first of all, I will tell you how to approach the case scenario. When you read get the case scenario paper in your book, in your examination, first of all, do not just we advise the students to give a quick reading to the case scenario. But while giving the quick reading, just memorize, or they can just highlight with the pen that what all are the provisions which are applicable, what all are the relevant important provisions which get triggered in these type of situations. So that when we come to the questions, we are already, our mind is prepared that how, what type of, is there any circular, is there any circular applicable in this scenario? Is there any amendment in this case? And which provision of law is attracted in this particular case? That you may, during reading as well, you may think in your mind. So let's start with the case. Vardhaman Limited, hereinafter referred to as company, registered in Delhi, has operations in multiple states across India. The company has taken separate GST registration in all the states where it operates. During the month of January, the tax team presented following information in its report to the management. I hope my voice is clear. You may give in your answer in the chat box. Then, point number 1, the information which is given to us is okay. Prateek and Prashanta saying yes, ma'am. Now, okay. Okay. So the first point says the company sold goods valuing rupees 5 crore from its warehouse located at Kandla Port, Gujarat, to a buyer located in Ahmedabad by way of transfer of title in goods. The responsibility of clearance of goods shall be on the buyer, and the goods were imported by the company from Vietnam and they were not cleared for home consumption since then. Okay, so that means goods are still lying because they are not cleared for home consumption. They are imported, but they are not cleared for home. Then the other part of information we have is the company got a favorable advance ruling order. Prashant has started giving answers. Prashant, let's see. Yes, it's good that you are thinking in your mind, but all the provisions might get attracted in that particular case scenario. It's good. We will see. We will see forward what all questions have been asked based on these provisions and whether your clue is right or not, right? So second number part of information which is given to us is the company got a favorable advance ruling order on a particular issue from the Authority for Advance Ruling, Rajasthan. Application was filed by the company whose registered place of business in Rajasthan. Advance ruling provisions, I hope everybody is aware, they are quite easy also. And generally, during the examination, either we get the C&K question, comprehension and knowledge-based question on the advanced ruling, or these side. Generally, in the case scenario, we get the less applicability of the provisions of advanced ruling, but we can have. This case scenario shows that you need not go for the selective study in case of chartered accountancy, like a higher order of professional examination. Basically, you cannot ignore any area. You have to be thorough with all the provisions which are covered in your syllabus. So generally, during practice, you might have seen that advanced ruling provisions are not tested in the case scenarios, but it might be tested, right? Then coming to the part 3, the company received an order from the adjudicating authority in Maharashtra, wherein a demand of tax amounting to rupees 1 crore and penalty amounting to rupees 10 lakh and interest amounting to rupees 25 lakh was confirmed by the adjudicating authority. The dispute in this case was similar to the issue for which a favorable order from advance ruling authority was received by the company in the state of Rajasthan. As discussed in para 2 above, company feels that it has a strong case in the matter before the adjudicating authority. Right? So we have some information regarding the appeals, advance ruling, and let's read the another part of information. The company has issued tax invoice in relation to certain supplies, wherein the total tax collected from the recipients amounted to rupees 3 crore. Subsequently, it was noticed that the supplies were not liable to GST and the amount has been wrongfully collected by the company from the recipients of it. Then, next point. A special audit was initiated by the chartered accountant nominated by the state tax authorities of Madhya Pradesh against the company in the state of Madhya Pradesh. If you will read the case scenario, you will see that many provisions which are generally not tested in the case scenarios, they have been asked in this case scenario. So it means you don't have to do the selective study. Like I feel the provisions of advanced ruling, then the special audit, this appeals and revision is generally asked in the examination, so you must be aware of the correct provisions. But these 2-3 are generally not asked, right? So everything is important. You have to be thorough with all the provisions which are covered in the syllabus. Now let's read the question. What is the question which is based on these facts? We will read the each question and then I will show you the relevant facts. You may go through the same. Take your time. And I want reply, I want answers from all of you. I will give the time limit of 2 minutes or around 2 minutes to all of you after it, while I start with the reading of question. And I want participation from all of you. Please give your answers in the chat box. So coming to the question 1, in relation to the goods sold from its warehouse in Kandla, Gujarat, the company shall dash. Is it A? The company shall be liable to pay customs duty and IGST as applicable. Option B, the company is liable to pay customs duty only. C, company shall be liable to pay IGST only. And option D, company shall not be liable to pay any tax or duty. Right? I am showing you the relevant information and I want participation from all of you. You may also give brief reasons in your chat while giving quoting answer in the chat box. So this is the information which I feel is relevant for this part, for answering this part. And you may also see that Vardhaman Limited is registered in Delhi. Vardhaman Limited is registered in Delhi and it has operations in multiple states across India. And the relevant information I have already shown to you. Take your time and I want answers from all of you and correct answers. You may also put the brief reasoning while you mention your answer. Whether IGST will be levied, whether customs duty will be levied, or whether note duty is not liable to pay any tax or duty, or IGST only, customs duty only, IGST and customs duty and no duty. You have 4 options. You may go through the information given in para 1. Take your time, but please give correct answers, all of you, with brief reason also, so that we are able to appreciate the correct legal provision, that you have not just, is permutation and combination. You know the provisions because your exams are near and we expect that this is the right time when you should be aware of all the legal provisions while answering the question. Pratik, also mention your answer. You have given the answer, but please also give the brief reason for the same. Okay, you have given.
This is a
Why
very
you?
important concept, actually, Swati, which is
Okay.
being tested here. And it is usually, you will find such type of questions or such type of points in the descriptive questions. So this
Right.
time it has been asked in the case scenario. But this point is very, very important. We generally get this point in the big compulsory question of computation of GST. So I hope you must have received the answers from all the participants by now, or someone is left.
We have got correct answer from Pratik, but Pratik is saying no. Once he has given one answer, and another next time he has given the another answer. So Pratik, I think you are confused. We have given 2 answers. So please tell me what is the correct answer. I want more participation.
What about others?
See,
Monica, Anshul, Manoj,
See, friends,
Pandya
even
Raj.
if you are not much sure of this provision might seem difficult to you, but still I will urge you to please participate because your exams are near. Even if your answer gets wrong, doesn't matter because it is not your examination. At least you will be able to learn something. That when you
Definitely.
commit mistake and you
And
get to
whatever
know the
answer is coming
provision.
to your mind, you should tell that answer, whatever answer is coming to your mind. So Prashant, you used to be there in the LVC class also.
Yeah,
I'm expecting answer from you. You must have covered everything in the class also. Others also, Sajja, Vijay, Avad, Pratik. Pratik has given, but you are telling he has changed his answer. In fact, I think then we should start with the reasoning, and so that the students can understand. For other questions, we need response or we expect response from you. So this question says that the company sold goods valuing rupees 5 crore from its warehouse located at Kandla Port, Gujarat, to a buyer located in Ahmedabad. Now, actually, the company has imported some goods, and those goods were lying in its warehouse in the Kandla port. That means those goods were not cleared for home consumption, and the company had warehoused them before clearing for home consumption in the Kandla airport. And in the meantime, when the goods were warehoused, the company got some buyer for those goods. One way was that the company could have cleared those goods from the warehouse and it had cleared them for the home consumption. After that, it would have sold them to this person in Ahmedabad. Then what company would have done is it would have paid the customs duty and IGST on that particular warehouse on those goods. And after that, they would have entered into another supply transaction with the buyer, which is located in Ahmedabad. But in this case, what the company did was very, which wisely, the company had sold that uh, those goods in the warehouse itself. Now, when the company sold those goods in the warehouse, what happened is section Schedule 3 got attracted, and in Schedule 3, Para 8A provides that supply of warehouse goods to any person before clearance for home consumption is neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. So if you are selling any of your goods which are lying in the customs warehouse and then you clear them for and then you sell them to any person, you sell them to any person, you supply those goods to any person without clearing them for home consumption, that amounts to a non-supply because Schedule 3 contains the activities or transactions which do not amount to supply. And that is why no GST is leviable on this particular transaction. It has been mentioned that these goods were imported by the company for Vietnam and they were not cleared for home consumption since then. So instead of clearing them for home consumption and then selling them to a buyer in Ahmedabad, what company did was company directly sell it to a buyer in Ahmedabad. And what would have been after then? Would have happened? That buyer in Ahmedabad would have cleared those goods, and the IGST liability would have arisen on the buyer who had cleared. The sale or the supply made by company to that buyer in Ahmedabad does not have any GST implication. So the correct answer would be option D, that is not liable to pay any tax or duty. So I hope that clears your doubt in the point in this question. And next question, I suppose others will also answer. Yes, Swati, please proceed.
So the next question is, in relation to the advance ruling order received by the company in Rajasthan, option A, the order is binding on the company only in Rajasthan, but on jurisdictional officer across all the registrations of the company in India. Option 2, the order is binding on the company across all the states in India. Option C, the order is binding on the company and the jurisdictional officer in Rajasthan. Option D, the order is binding on the company and the jurisdiction officer across all registrations of the company in India. So whether basically the order is binding कंपनी के लिए सिर्फ राजस्थान में है या सिर्फ कंपनी के लिए ऑल स्टेट्स में है, कंपनी के लिए राजस्थान में है बट जुडिशनल ऑफिसर के लिए ऑल रजिस्ट्रेशन स्टेट्स में है कि सिर्फ राजस्थान में है. So this is the question, and let me show you the relevant facts, and I'm giving you time and expecting the correct answer from all of you because this is an easy provision. So basically, you may see the para 2. Para 2 is the relevant information, it contains the relevant information. And I want participation from all of you. Monica, Anshul, Manoj, Pandya Raj, Prashant, we are already getting answers from you then. Mr. Sacha Anil Kumar, Vizya Kumar, Awadh Kishore, Karan Dobaria. I want participation from all of you and I'm waiting for the answer. Pratik and Prashant has already answered. Please, students, all the other students, please give the correct answer. Please do not hesitate. Doesn't matter whether your answer is correct or not. This is not the examination. This is just a class. There is nothing to shame and nothing. There is no such. There is no harm in answering a wrong answer as well. But please participate. Participation is very important. Prashant, your answer is correct. Pratik, I want to know whether you are putting your answer in respect of the company or the jurisdictional officer. May I know the reason, Pratik? Why are you putting your answer this one? Maybe not section, you don't put the section, but you may write the relevant provision in support of your answer. Mr. Sunil, Pandya Raj, Manoj, Sachin Kumar, Avadh Kishore, I am waiting for your answer. Then only I will move to the next question. Manoj, Anshul Sharma, Monica. You know, the objective of joining this session does not get fulfilled. You are not able to take the full benefit if you don't participate in this session, right? So if you have, taken time from your schedule to participate in this, to join this session, then please participate as well. Then only you will be able to take the full benefits, reap the full benefits of this session. This session, why we are asking from you only to, answer. Nobody else is going to give answers. Students will not give answers. Why, Pratik? Why you have not revised since 15 days? Hope everything is fine. Good, Anshul. I'm good to see that you have, participated. Doesn't matter your answer is correct or not. For I'm telling you for all of you, but please participate. If you are joined, then please participate. Good, Anshul. Your answer is correct. Very good. Very good. Very good. Your reason is also good. Is there anybody else who also wants to give the reason, or shall I conclude the reason behind it? Please let me know. Okay. So I am explaining the reason behind it. The correct answer to this question number 2, the correct answer to this question is point C, option C. In relation to the advance ruling order received by the company in Rajasthan, the order is binding on the company and the jurisdictional officer in Rajasthan. Right. Now, why it is so? Because this is very important to know the reason behind it, why it is so, why it is binding on the company and the jurisdictional officer only in the Rajasthan. The reason behind is, at CA final level, it is very important for you to go through the relevant statutory provisions. At this level, you should be habitual of going through the relevant provisions given in the BEAR Act. In that manner, you will inculcate the habit of reading the law, and also your concepts will get clear. You will come to know how to read the law, how to interpret it. So, the relevant section behind this, the correct answer is section 103. Section 103 of the CGST Act 2017 says that the advance ruling pronounced by the authority or the appellate authority shall be binding only on the applicant who had sought it or the jurisdictional officer in respect of the applicant. Right? So in this case, this order is binding on the company and the jurisdictional officer in Rajasthan only. Right? So let's move to the next question. In case the company prefers an appeal before the appellate authority against the order passed by adjudicating authority in Maharashtra, the amount of pre-deposit to be made by the company is dash. Option A, rupees 11 lakh. Option B, rupees 13.5 lakh. Option C, rupees 10 lakh. And option D is nil. You may go through once more this question, then I will show you the relevant facts. अगर कंपनी अपीलेट अथॉरिटी को अपील करना चाहती है अगेंस्ट द ऑर्डर जो एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी ने पास किया है महाराष्ट्र में, तो कितना प्री डिपॉजिट करना होगा? 11 लाख, 10 लाख, 13.5 या कुछ भी नहीं? And you may refer point C. See, locating the relevant information is also very important. All the relevant information relating to appeal has been given in point 3. So you have to refer the point 3. Sharing your answer. Pre-deposit is an important concept. Generally, during examination, we get the questions on the amount of pre-deposit to be made. Good, Anshu Sharma. Good to see your level of participation. You are very prompt in participating, and that too, you are giving the correct answer. Very good. Achha, you want to see the options again, Prashant? Okay. Options are A 11 lakh, B 13.5 lakh, C 10 lakh, and D is 10. 11, 13.5, 10, and nil. Pradeep and Prashant, we have got answers from you. Good to see that Anshu Sharma has started participating and that too in a very prompt manner. Other students may too participate. Let us again see the relevant information. Para 3. This is the point where students generally commit mistake. We can say a commonly committed error. This is the area where the students generally commonly committed mistake. So Pratik and Prashant, again, if you want to, memorize, remember the correct provision behind that, you may re-refer the relevant provisions and then answer it. Shall we
Sure.
share the answer? Okay. Question number 3. The correct answer is C. Rupees 10 lakh in this case. Correctly given by Anshul. Prashant, you are wrong. Prashant, you are wrong this time, and Pratik, your answer is also wrong. See, what is the catch in this case? As per section 107, section 107 is applicable in this case. And as per section 107 of the CGST Act 2017, any appeal before the appellate authority shall be filed only when the appellant has paid a sum equal to 10% of the amount of tax in dispute. What is important is you have to pay 10% is one thing, and 10% not of all the things, tax, interest, and penalty. You just have to pay 10% of the amount of tax in dispute, right? And in this admitted amount plus 10% of the amount of tax in dispute. And here the whole amount is disputed one, but you have to calculate 10% of not the tax plus interest plus penalty. You just have to consider the 10% of the tax amount, right? So 10% of the tax amount, the correct answer is C, rupees 10 lakh.
In fact, this mistake is one of the most commonly committed errors also, which we have noticed that students generally tend to take the all three amounts and then they find out the wrong answer. In fact, here you have still some options for you and you get an idea that this could also be an option. In descriptive questions, straight away they do it. And after getting the answer sheet, they come to know that yes, they have committed the mistake. So please be aware of this mistake. Yes, Swati, please proceed to next. I think we can move to next question now.
Okay. So the next question is, in case where the tax has been wrongly collected by the company from the recipient, then what is the option available to the company? Option A, company shall pay such amount to the government. Option B, company shall refund the amount to the recipient from whom the amount has been collected. Option C, the company shall deposit such amount with the consumer welfare fund. And option D, company can retain such amount with itself. Right? तो अगर हमने कुछ अमाउंट रॉन्गली गलती से कलेक्ट कर लिया है कंपनी ने रिसिपेंट से, तो क्या करना होता है? गवर्नमेंट को दे, रिसिपेंट्स को वापस कर दे, अपने पास ही रखे, या फिर वो कंज्यूमर वेलफेयर फंड में डिपॉजिट कर दे. राइट? So let's see the relevant provisions. You may see the para 4. See, in this particular case scenario, the relevant information is already, segregated. It is given in the particular paragraph, but it might not happen all the time, right? So don't think that, it's not important during examination, or we will see the other case scenarios also of RTP. It is not important that whatever information is relevant for a particular question, that will be consolidated at one place. You might have to refer the full case scenario again and again, or it might happen that one part of information is given in a particular para 1, or some part is given at the end of the case scenario. So you have to be very cautious, very carefully. You have to go through the facts of the case scenario, and very carefully you have to locate the uh, information which has been sought in the question with the facts provided in the case scenario. Very good, Mr. Sajja Anil Kumar. I am happy to see your participation. This is the first answer replied by you. Very good, and good to see that your answer is also correct. Anshul, very good. Your answer is also correct. Prashant is asking to for the options again. Okay, Prashant. So the options are option A, the company shall pay such amount to the government. Option B, company shall refund back the amount to the recipient. Option C, company shall deposit such amount with the consumer welfare fund. And option D, the company can retain such amount with itself. No, Prashant, your answer is wrong. I think you need revision. You need to you need really a thorough revision. At this point of time, all the students whose answer is wrong, they, it's uh, it is a symbol like you really need revision. You really need to, but sometimes we feel that we have revised, we are, fed up while revising. We have revised the concepts once, twice, and now we are fed up. We just, just know everything. We feel ourselves. But when we participate, then only we come to know where we stand, whether our concepts are strengthened or do they need to be revisited. This is the reason why I'm asking you to participate again and again, because this is the point platform where you are able to self-evaluate yourself. Monica, very good. Good to see that you have participated and your answer is also correct. Good, Monica. So I'm just counting, you giving you 10 more seconds and then we will go to the answer. See, oh, you are by missing messages in the okay. See, when you know the reason, now you will see that if you are aware of the correct provision of law which gets attracted in a particular case scenario, it is very easy. It becomes very easy for you to understand the question, right? So let us go through the answer. Correct answer in this case is option A. The company shall pay such amount to the government. Why option A? When I'm quoting you this relevant section number, that I can say that it is not expected from you to memorize those sections number. And of course, in the multiple choice questions, you are not expected to, you are not allowed, you are not asked to give reason also. So you have, moved to now very fast. You are going to section, question number 5. I am in question number 4, right? Then why I am quoting, so that after finishing the class, or you may just write down on a piece of paper that after class you just go through the relevant provision of law, relevant section number, and then if you will read it yourself now, your concepts will get clear that it has been clearly stated in the law. There is no such application of facts in that case. If you know the correct provision, then if you will apply in the given facts, your answer will could also be the correct one. So the correct section behind it is section 76(1). 76(1). It says that every person who has collected from any other person any amount as representing the tax under this act and has not paid the amount to the government, then he shall forthwith pay the said amount to the government, irrespective of, please mind my words, the law section 76(1) says, irrespective of whether the supplies in respect of which such amount was collected was taxable or not. कि अगर मैंने कुछ अमाउंट कलेक्ट किया है रिसिपेंट से, तो मुझे वो अमाउंट गवर्नमेंट को देना ही देना है. It is not important whether the amount in respect of the supply which I have collected it, whether it is the taxable supply or it is not a taxable supply. This is not important. But if I have collected something from the recipient, then I have to pay it to the government, right? Then coming to the next question. In case of special audit being conducted in the state of Madhya Pradesh, option A, like whenever we have any options after such a statement, it means which of the following statements is the most appropriate one that you have to reply. Option A, the remuneration of chartered accountant is payable by company as per agreed terms. Option B, the remuneration of chartered accountant is payable by the company as directed by the commissioner of state tax. Option C, remuneration of chartered accountant is payable by the commissioner, but the expenses of the examination and audit of records will be reimbursed by the company. And option D is expenses of examination and audit of records, including the remuneration of CA, shall be paid by the commissioner. And I am showing you the relevant fact. This is para 5. You may go through the same. Mr. Sajja Anil Kumar, your answer is correct. Prashant Jain, your answer is also correct. Prateek, very good, your answer is correct and you have quoted the correct section number. Monica, good, your answer is also correct. Good to see that answer given by all of you, all the students is correct. Is there anybody else who is going to mention the answer? So let me again go through the facts and the correct reason, legal reason behind it. A special audit was initiated by CA, nominated by the state tax authorities of Madhya Pradesh against a company in the state of Madhya Pradesh. हमसे पूछा गया है कि जो सीए की जो स्पेशल ऑडिट जो कंडक्ट हुआ है एमपी में, तो जो सीए की रेम्यूनरेशन है वो कंपनी देगी एज पर अग्रीड टर्म्स. सीए की रेम्यूनरेशन कंपनी देगी बट एज डायरेक्टेड बाय द कमिश्नर ऑफ स्टेट टैक्स. सीए की रेम्यूनरेशन कमिश्नर देगा बट जो एक्सपेंसेस हैं एग्जामिनेशन एंड ऑडिट के वो रीइंबर्स कर देगी कंपनी. या फिर ऑप्शन डी की एक्सपेंसेस जो है एग्जामिनेशन एंड ऑडिट के और इंक्लूडिंग जो रेम्यूनरेशन जो है सीए की वो कमिश्नर देगा. And the correct answer as given by all of you is the right. It is option D, which says that expenses of examination and audit, including जो remuneration है CA की, वो commissioner देगा. Why is it so? It is why section 66 subsection 5 of the CGSC Act 2017, which says the expenses of the examination, audit of records, including the remuneration of such CA or cost accountant shall be determined. Determine भी commissioner करेगा और pay भी commissioner ही करेगा. Expenses एग्जामिनेशन के, ऑडिट के, सीए की रेम्यूनरेशन, ये सब कुछ डिटरमिन भी कमिश्नर करेगा और पे भी कमिश्नर करेगा. सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज डी. So by now we have completed the case scenario 1. Now we shall move to the case scenario 2.
Yes. So I would be sharing the screen now. Host, please allow me to share the screen. Okay. So now we'll be starting with the second scenario. And I request the students to send their chats on this particular ID. I'm CA Shafali Jain, so you can share the answers to me as well as you can share the answers, keep sharing answers to Swati also. We both are there to evaluate your answers. So hope my screen is visible to you all. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible.
Okay. So now let's start with the second scenario. Now, second scenario, in fact, if you see the second scenario, it has more implication of the core provisions of GST. That means in first scenario, we have tested the overall concepts of GST and there was more focus on the enforcement provisions. There was a focus on the demand and appeals and revision provisions. Then we have audit provisions. So different type of, in fact, as Swati sufficiently highlighted, that the provisions which are generally not tested in the examination. Just a minute. So those provisions we have taken in the case scenario 1. Now in case scenario 2, it has some very important concepts, core provisions or substantive law of GST, that is the charge of GST, reverse charge provisions are being tested, value of GST, then TDS provisions will be tested. So this question requires the understanding of the core provisions for answering the MCQs. So let us read. Oh, sorry, I think I had stopped sharing. This let
No,
me
ma'am,
once
your
again.
screen is visible.
My
Yes.
screen is visible. Okay.
Yes,
Maybe
please.
my layout has changed. So I'm not able to see. Just a
And
minute,
if you
students.
want, I can read it. Okay, scenario 2 only.
Yes, I just want to get it on my screen also.
Okay, okay. It is visible to all of us.
It is visible. Okay, okay. And once again, I think I have made some change in the scenario layout. So I will stop share and I will once again share the screen. Yes, now it is visible. So case scenario 2 says Vidyut Corporations Limited is a public sector company, a public sector undertaking engaged in the business of generation of electricity from conventional and non-conventional sources. Now, when you read these words, public sector undertaking, that your supplier or the company for whom we are actually finding out the tax or for whom we are doing the GST compliances, it's a public sector undertaking. So immediately certain provisions will strike in your mind that there can be application of TDS. In certain reverse charge provisions, we have special provisions for government undertaking. So is it for public sector undertaking also? So those type of things will immediately strike you if you have the overall understanding of the GST law or when you have gone through all the provisions. So Vidyut Corporation Limited is a public sector undertaking. It is engaged in the business of generation of electricity Now, when you see electricity, you get to know that yes, electricity is exempt from GST. This is a general, you know, thing which everyone or all of us know. In fact, Prateek has given me an answer. Prateek, this is an okay. When I told you about TDS, so you gave me TDS percentage. Section you have to correct, Prateek. It is section 51. The Government of India holds 75% equity in said company, and balance equity is held by the institutional and domestic investors. Since it is a public sector undertaking, so in this public sector undertaking, government also has its equity. Obviously, it has 75% equity, and rest of the equity is held by the institutional and domestic investors. The company has taken separate registration under GST in each state where it has business operations. So in every state where it has business operations, company has taken a separate registration. This has also been apprised to us. And company has its head office at Delhi. Its power plants are located in the states of Bihar, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. So this is the whole framework of the company. In fact, company has one head office and 3 branches, and it has taken registration at each of these places. Company is a public sector undertaking. Now we proceed to the transactions which have been undertaken by the company. When you are reading the case scenario, as Swati told you, that you should keep in mind the important information also. You have to try to locate the information which might be relevant for your questions. And when you see the questions, then again you have to highlight that information and related provisions also, which you have to apply for arriving at the answer. Now, so the following transactions were carried out by the company during the month of February. So the question has given us the transactions which are carried by Delhi HO, as well as the 3 power plants, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Bihar, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. And for each, the transactions have been given to you. Now, first transaction is sale of electrical energy to DISCOM. When we read this, we get this particular provision in our mind that okay, electricity sale is exempt. So if they are going to ask something relating to taxable supplies, then this will not be counted. Second is bank interest received on saving bank account and fixed deposit. Now we have entry 27. Oh, no, I will not be giving you the entries now. I will just read the question because I think that would be the better approach. If I explain you the entire scenario now, you will not be able to appreciate the points afterwards. So I will first read the scenario. We'll read the question and afterwards I will explain you as Swati has done. I think that was the better approach. So bank interest received on saving bank account and fixed deposit. And for this also, we have given the amounts which bank interest, the amount of bank interest which each of the branches as well as HO has received. So 18 lakh is received by Delhi HO, 3 lakh by Bihar plant, 5 lakh by Odisha plant, and 8 lakhs by Chhattisgarh plant. Next entry is house rent recovered from the employees for residential accommodation provided to them. I'm just zooming out a bit because you will not be able to see which particular office or branch plant has received the amount. So house rent has been recovered from the employees for the residential accommodation provided to them. And the amount is 55,000 for HO, 30,000, 25,000 and 40,000 for branches. Next transaction is rent collected from bank, ATM, post office and shops located in office premises. Again, amount has been given for HO and the plants. Next transaction is sale of metal scrap covered under chapter 72, excluding TCS at the rate of 1% as per the Income Tax Act 1961. Now, when TCS amount is given to us, so something is possible that something we have to do with this TCS amount. So this should strike to us. Now, this TCS metal scrap which has been sold and on which TCS was applicable under the Income Tax Act, it has been sold to Birla Scrappers, which is unregistered under GST. Let us see if it has any application in any of the questions, but for the timing, this is the information. And last comes the residual information, that is other income. Now, this is the residual income which has been earned by the Delhi HO and Chhattisgarh Power Plant 45,000. Now, in addition to above information, following transactions were also carried out during the month of February. What are the additional transactions which have been carried out? The first transaction, a supply order for stationery items was awarded by Delhi HO to Messrs Stationery Mart, New Delhi, for rupees 3,36,000. Now you have to keep this amount in mind. The Delhi HO has given a contract to Stationery Mart, and the contract value is 3,36,000, including GST at the rate of 12% in January. The vendor supplied stationery items worth rupees 44,800, including GST. Again, GST is included here at the rate of 12%, and issued the tax invoice in February. The Delhi HO had made the payment of said bill in February by crediting the vendor's account for that amount on the same date in its books. The remaining amount was paid in April on supply of balance items. And you know that the entire information which is given in this question pertains to the month of February. So the contract was entered into by the Delhi HO with Stationery Mart. Contract value was 3,36,000, out of which 44,800 has been the goods worth rupees 44,800 have been supplied by the Stationery Mart to Delhi HO, and payment has also been made. So let us see if this information has any implication on any of the questions. Next is, Odisha plant purchased office furniture for rupees 2,80,000 during February from an unregistered dealer. Rate of GST on said furniture item is 18%. A board meeting for raising loan for project expansion was held in February. The Delhi HO paid 20,000 each as sitting fee to 4 independent directors, all registered under GST, who attended the meeting. Further, it paid rupees 80,000 to one of these directors who had rented the office building to Delhi HO. Now, last transaction, additional information which is there. For safety and security of its HO and power plants, the company engaged private security as well as CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. Following payments were made in February in respect of said services. Now, some payment was made to CISF and some payment was made to a private security company. So to CISF, Delhi HO has not taken any services, but the 3 power plants have taken services from CISF, and the amounts have been given to you, as well as you have been given the date on which these amounts have been paid. So all the 3 amounts have been paid in the month of February itself. Bihar, Odisha and Chhattisgarh plant has paid 10 lakh, 8 lakhs and 14 lakhs amount respectively. Then we have the ABS Security Services Private Limited. We have paid to ABS Security Services Private Limited also, which is paid by Delhi HO. So Delhi HO has taken services from the private security company, and it has paid 5 lakh amount to the private security company. In fact, we have one more information or one more additional transaction which was undertaken. It was the Bihar plant purchased a machinery in February from Messrs Sahu Enterprises, Patna, not registered under GST. Now, this can also have some implication in our question. So we have to read each and every information carefully. For rupees 86,000, this machinery was purchased from a enterprise which is not registered. Full payment was made in February. Rate of GST on said machinery is 18%. Now, all the above amounts are excluding GST wherever GST is applicable, unless it is otherwise specified that yes, GST amount is included, because we have seen in case of the TDS, in case of the Stationery Mart, the amount received, the supplies received from Stationery Mart, whatever payment we have made to Stationery Mart, GST was included in that. Otherwise, all other amounts are excluding GST. Now, based on the facts of the case scenario given above, choose the most appropriate answer to question numbers 6 to 11. So we have 6 questions based on this particular scenario. And I will read the first question. I will take you to the relevant information also. In fact, I will take you to the entire question once again. I would advise if you can also open this RTP in your systems or in your devices, that would be easy, because maybe you are, while computing, you are on some different figure and I am showing a different information to you. but still I would be showing the relevant information time and again to you so that you can compute the correct answers. So first question says the value of taxable supply on which GST is payable by Delhi HO under forward charge for the month of February is dash. We have four options with us: 18 lakhs, 2,98,000, 21 lakh 53,000, and 48,000. Now, in this question, before you proceed to the answer, let me help you that way that what are the things you need to focus in this question. What the question is asking: value of taxable supply on which GST is payable under forward charge. By whom it is payable? It is payable by Delhi HO for the month of February. So you have to keep all these three things in mind when you are actually computing the value. In fact, we have received the feedback from the students that this scenario they find a bit difficult to attempt. That is why we are taking these scenarios in this class so that at least you are clear with their concepts. Now, this is the information, this is the basic information in the first para that Vidyut Enterprises is a PSU and it has power plants and HO located in the respective locations. Now, let us see this information, and I am zooming it out a bit more. So, we have to compute the answer for Delhi HO. This is the information which is provided for Delhi HO. In second column, the information is relating to Delhi HO, and I'm going to show the entire table to you. So I request all of you to compute the answers and please come up with the answers. I'm waiting for your answers. This is the information of the transactions or the supplies which the company has made. Electrical energy sale, bank interest, house rent. Then I will take you to further information. Once you are done with this piece of table or with this piece of information you have done, you can give me in the chat box a go ahead that you want to see the other information. I will take you to the remaining part of the information for answering the question. Because you would be seeing, you need to see the entire question for answering, for ascertaining the value of taxable supply on which this Vidyut Enterprises, Vidyut Corporation Limited has to pay the tax on under forward charge. So second column is for Delhi HO because you have to see the relevant information also. Okay, I'm getting some of the responses from Awadh. Then Sajja has given me some information. Awadh, it's saying next para, ma'am. So can I scroll to next para? Others have also seen it. You can send me your responses, students. So this table has 5 transactions in overall. Sale of electrical energy, bank interest which is received, house rent recovered, rent collected from bank, ATM, post office and shops, and sale of metal scrap, which is not there for Delhi HO. Now let us move to the next piece of information. Delhi HO has one more transaction of other income of 2,50,000. After that, we have the additional transaction. So if you want me to show you the additional transaction, let me take you to the additional transaction. So we have to compute what amount is there or what is the value of taxable supply by Delhi HO under forward charge, on which tax is payable under forward charge. So I have not got the final amount from Awadh. Sajja has given me the final answer. Yes. Okay. Awadh has also given the answer. What about others? Anshul, Pandya Raj, Prashant, Sunil. Should if you want me to get to the previous information again, I will go there. Just have a glance at the other transactions which are there. And in case you have opened the RTP in some other device also, that will help you. But I am also taking you to the relevant information again and again. So that will help you in solving the question. Don't worry. See, this is the table of transactions being undertaken in the month of February, and second column has the information regarding the Delhi HO. Okay, Prashant, you have also given me the answer. I'm still waiting for others to answer because I want all of you to be with us on this question. This question is going to clear a lot of concepts. You know, somewhere two answers will be very closely related, and you are going to make the mistake in some of the questions. I'm very sure because the questions have been meticulously drafted in such a manner that you tend to make mistake in such questions. So, any more answers for this question, or should I proceed with the answer?
Anita has
I
also
think
replied.
others not.
Anita
Yes,
has also
Swati.
replied.
So, what is her answer?
Her answer is same as given by Prashant Jain. I am not quoting so that other
Mhm.
students don't copy.
Okay, so I got the answer of Prashant, and Anita, you can also write in my chat box also, so that I can also be aware that you know the answer.
Then she has given answer over the question answer query
Okay, other
section.
portal. She has given it at the other portal. Good, good, good. So I will see the other portal also. Definitely. Yes. So let us see the provision which is involved here. Now, the question says that the value of taxable supply on which GST is payable by Delhi HO under forward charge for the month of February. So we will first of all see how the information has been categorized in this particular question. If you see, the transactions have been carried out, which were carried out by the company, have been given in this particular table. It is not mentioned that these are the outward supplies, but the way the information is given, you can easily make it out that the sale of electrical energy, an outward supply, but it is an exempt supply, and Delhi HO has not done it. So there is no question of including it in its value of outward supply. Why I'm taking outward supply? Because we are saying on which Delhi HO has to pay tax under forward charge. So no reverse charge entries and no inward supplies have to be taken. When I say value of taxable supply on under forward charge, that means we have to take the value on outward supplies which are taxable. Bank interest received on saving bank account and fixed deposit. In fact, initially I gave you a complete hint on this particular issue, but then I restrained myself that no, we'll not be discussing any provisions. We'll discuss it when you have attempted it on your own. So entry 27 of notification number 12 by 2017 provides that the services provided by loan or advance by way of loan advances given for which the consideration is represented by way of interest discount is exempt from GST. So in this case, we are receiving interest from the bank on the saving bank account and fixed deposit, which is exempt from GST. So 18 lakh will not be included in the value of taxable supply. Then comes the next amount, that is house rent recovered from the employees for a residential accommodation provided to them. Now, again here, one exemption entry, these services by way of residential dwelling for use as residence provided to unregistered person. This is exempt from GST. Now, this exemption entry is attracted here. In fact, all of you must be aware that this exemption entry had undergone the amendment, and this is after the amendment what this entry reads like. Otherwise, earlier, any kind of residential dwelling services provided to any person were exempt, provided these residential dwelling were used for residence purpose. But now, only if these services are provided to to an unregistered person, then they will be exempt from GST. And one more amendment took place in this, that unregistered person, there was an exception, that is a sole proprietor. So if a sole proprietor is taking those residential dwelling services for his own disposal or for his on his own account in his, he is not taking it for the purpose of his firm or his employees. He wants to himself stay in those residential dwelling, then then that will be exempt. So he has also been included in this exemption, because what happened when the government changed this entry and they said this residential dwelling exemption will only be available to the Yes, Anshul has also given the correct answer. And Prashant has also. So Prashant, you were right. Okay, you have given the answer to next question also. So let's be on this question, Prashant. But yes, in the meantime, if any of you want to proceed to next question, you can see. But please understand the concept. So residential dwelling for unregistered person now includes the unregistered person, in a way includes the sole proprietor who is using these residential dwelling for his own residence on his own account. If he is using it, that is also exempt. So this service is also exempt. 55,000 is exempt, will not be included in the value. Rent collected from bank, ATM, post office, and shop located in office premises. Now, if I go by this entry cover which we have just discussed, this entry covers the residential dwelling, whereas the rent which we have collected from our bank, ATM, post office, shops, that is from the commercial property we have got. So any rent which we have got, or the renting out of commercial property, is nowhere exempt under GST law, and therefore the 48,000 amount will become taxable under GST. Sale of metal scrap is not here, so we will not discuss. Then we have other income of 2,50,000. So that is also taxable. Nothing is given, so this is a taxable income. Now 2,50,000 plus 48,000 makes it 2,98,000. And now we will go to the other additional information. Now additional information, if you see it carefully, I will not go through each and every transaction because we have to cover other questions also. But I'm just scrolling it down, and you can see that all the additional information which is given to you pertains to the inward supplies. So we are here concerned only with the outward supplies. You can see that all the additional information is with regard to the inward supplies, and therefore this question will only include the outward supply information, and that makes the answer 2,98,000. With this, I'm happy that all of you have answered it correctly. Option B. So let's move to the next question. Next question says the value of taxable inward supply. The question has itself specified inward supply on which GST shall be payable under reverse charge by Bihar Power Plant is dash. Options given are 11,80,000, 10 lakh, 10 lakh 86,000, 10 lakh 30,000. Now, what is the, so I have started getting answers for this question also. Yes, Sajja Kumar has also given the answer. Prashant has also given the answers. Good that you are prompt in computing the questions. So for this question, it says inward supplies have to be seen, and for Bihar Power Plant. So let us see the information. We have to see the additional information because we have already seen that the outward supplies are given in the table, and additional information contains the details of the inward supplies. So first information is with regard to Delhi HO. We can leave it, and rest of the information you can see on your screen. It is there. I will take you to next para also because it is pertaining to Bihar Power Plant. Unregistered person, we have taken from him the machinery worth rupees 86,000. And the options given to you are these. So from Bihar Power Plant, we have taken, Bihar Power Plant has purchased one machinery of rupees 86,000 from an unregistered person. It has taken the security services. So any more answers from you? Two persons, in fact, yes. Two of you have given the correct answer, Prashant and Sajja Kumar. Now, others, I want to compute the answer of this question. I'm waiting for your answers. Avar, you are also right. At least you are understanding the concept. Yes. So any more answers for this particular question? Okay, let us see the question and then we will see the answer. The question says value of taxable inward supply on which GST shall be payable under reverse charge by Bihar Power Plant. I have got one more answer from Prashant. Prashant has given answer to next question also. But let us see this question first, Prashant, then we will see the next question. The value of taxable inward supply on which GST is payable under reverse charge by Bihar Power Plant. Let us see first this transaction. Bihar Power Plant purchased a machinery in February from Messrs. Sahu Enterprises, Patna, not registered under GST for rupees 86,000. Full payment was made in February. Rate of GST on said machinery is 18%. Now, when you see this information, earlier when GST was introduced, at that point of time, there was a provision under Section 9(4), which used to say that supplies received from unregistered persons are taxable under reverse charge. But that provision never got effective. And for initially it got postponed. The effective date got postponed for a lot many years, and finally it got struck down. And what happened is that now the any supplies which we have received from unregistered person, they are not chargeable under reverse charge. In fact, this provision never became effective. That is why this point is this particular transaction or this particular inward supply is not taxable under reverse charge. So this we have to leave. Now we come to the next point. Next point, which pertains to Bihar Power Plant, is the safety and security services. So for safety and security of its HO and power plants, the company engaged private security as well as CISF. And these payments were made in February. So Bihar Power Plant has made a payment of 10 lakh rupees to CISF. Now, therefore, what the reverse charge entry says, the security services are taxable under reverse charge. All of you know this. As per notification number 13 by 2017, any security services by way of provision of security personals. So security services should include provision of the security personnel. Security personals should be provided for providing security. That is what CISF is doing in this particular question. And it should be provided by a person other than a body corporate to a registered person. Now here, if you see who is providing services to whom, Bihar Power Plant is a PSU. It is receiving the service, and CISF is not a body corporate, is a non-body corporate entity. It is providing these services. Moreover, the Bihar Power Plant, or you say Vidyut Corporation Limited, Vidyut Corporation Limited is a PSU and it is registered under GST. Okay. So any security services provided by a person other than body corporate, which is CISF, provided to a registered person, which is Vidyut Corporation Limited, or you can say Bihar Power Plant, will be taxable under reverse charge. And therefore, this 10 lakh amount, it gets taxed under reverse charge. Therefore, the answer will become 10 lakh because no other transaction pertains to Bihar Power Plant. These were the two transactions which were there for Bihar Power Plant, out of which one is not taxable under reverse charge. And therefore, the correct answer will be option B. And all of you have answered that correctly. That answer is option B. Now we come to the next question, the eighth question, which says the value of supply on which TDS under section 51 shall be deducted. Now TDS has come into the picture because it was a PSU. The supplier or the company which is in picture is a PSU, public sector undertaking. That is why TDS provisions have come into picture. The value of supply on which TDS under section 51 shall be deducted by Delhi HO while making payment to Messrs. Stationery Mart in February is, options are 40,000, 44,800, 3 lakh rupees. TDS is not deductible since payment made in February is less than rupees 2,50,000. So I'm waiting for your answers. Keep in mind all the provisions of TDS. The threshold limit for deducting TDS should also be known to you. I'm zooming it in because this is the piece of information which is relevant for answering this particular question. Point number one. In fact, if any other point is required, you can see that. And you can tell me if you want to see any other information also. In the meantime, in chat box, I have got answer from Sajja also. Sajja, you are right. Awadh is also Awadh. You're right, but is the option correct? Let me see. You have mentioned the right answer actually. Let us go to the options once. The options are okay, 40,000, 44,800, and okay, yes. Awadh, your answer is right. Sajja, your answer is also right. Prashant, you need to see your answer once again. Please go through your answer again and tell me the right answer. So this question has a little bit of catch, and a very, very important concept is being tested through this question. I will give you 30 more seconds and then I will discuss the provision which is related to this particular question. For question 8 itself, Prashant, I need the correct answer. First, give me answer for 8th question itself. For 9th, you are giving the answer, but for 8th, also you need to give the correct answer. Okay, so let us start with the concept of this particular question. This question says TDS amount has to be computed. Now, TDS provisions are discussed under section 51. And as per section 51, the government, yes, I am got one more point in chat box. Prashant is saying already given. Prashant, your answer for question 8 is not correct. Let me tell you. Actually, you know the provision, but you have misinterpreted the information. So let me tell you what is there. The government entities are required to deduct a TDS. As per Section 51, the government, the departments of government, central government, state government, local authorities, governmental agencies, and public sector undertakings, they are required to deduct a TDS. They are required to deduct a TDS at the rate of 1% CGST, 1% SGST, or 2% 2% IGST on the payments made by them of the taxable goods or services where the total value of the supply under the contract it exceeds rupees 2,50,000. So even if the value is 2,50,000, then a TDS will not be deducted. So value of supply should exceed 2,50,000. And the actual when you are actually making the payment. So if you see our question, then you can see that in this particular question, the just a minute. I hope my screen is still visible to you. Yes. So in this particular question, if you see, the supply has been made by for stationery, supply order received from station for stationery items. The contract value was 3,36,000 and TD, even if we exclude the GST amount, the contract value is more than 2,50,000. Therefore, this particular transaction is eligible for deduction of TDS. Then the next point is, and since they both the entities belong to Delhi, the goods are moving from Delhi to Delhi only. So the TDS which will be deducted, that will be CGST and SGST, though it is not required in our question, just for the purpose of information we are discussing this. The vendor supplied stationery items worth rupees 44,800 in February. So in February, the payment which is being made is 44,800 including GST. Excluding GST, the amount will be 40,000. Yes. Now you have got it right, because the point is that TDS has to be deducted on the payment which is being made in a particular month. When you are making, suppose your contract value is 10 lakh rupees, but you are receiving the payment you are receiving the stationery or whatever goods supplies in bits and parts, whatever payment you are making at a particular point of time, from that payment you have to deduct TDS. You cannot deduct TDS on the entire contract value when you are making a payment. So this is an important point. Students get confused in this. So I told you that there will be certain might get struck. So this is one of those that you do not have to deduct TDS from the entire value of 3,36,000 or excluding GST. You have to deduct TDS from the value on which for which you are making the payment. So now here in this month of February, you are, the company or the Delhi HO is making the payment of 40,000. And on the same, it has to deduct TDS at the rate of 2%. But we are only asked the value on which the TDS has to be deducted. Okay. So with this, the answer came as 40,000.
One thing I would like to add here is that though this, while looking at the case scenario, really this, it seems difficult and it has the implication of lot of the substantive provisions. But if you have got the conceptual clarity, then only we can find it to be an easy one also. But for that,
Definitely.
your concept should be very clear, like the threshold limit applicable for the provisions of TDS. Then one thing is threshold limit applicable for TDS is 2,50,000. Then it is excluding taxes. Another
Yes.
second thing,
Another important point.
yes, and a third point is that it is TDS is paid when or while making payment, right? So payment is the basically the event which triggers the TDS in TDS. So if the concepts are clear, it highlights it highlights importance of having the conceptual clarity. Then the whatever the facts may be given, they might seem difficult. A lot of information might be given, but the relevant information you will be able to identify only if you have the conceptual clarity.
Yes. Thank you, Swati, for adding these points. In fact, very informative points. You all have to focus on these points that information has to be seen clearly and provisions should be known properly. Let us see the next question. Value of taxable inward supply on which GST shall be payable under reverse charge by Delhi HO and Odisha plant. Now, here I am asking for two branches, one HO and one branch. What will be the value of taxable inward supply? And again, tax has to be paid under reverse charge. The amount or the options which are given to you are 1,60,000 and 10,80,000, 80,000 and 8 lakhs, 6,80,000 and 2,80,000, and the last option is 5,80,000 and 2,80,000. Let me show you the relevant piece of information. I have started getting answers, but this time only Prashant and Awadh has given the answers. Sajja, Sunil, where are others? At least try something. You have here, you can easily select any of the options. So try to select any more option. Okay, Saja has given the reason also, and that's good. Awadh, you can also give me the reason. Prashant, please give me reason for first ninth question. In fact, eighth question, you were clear with the concept, but you misinterpreted the information. That is why you initially gave me the wrong answer. But for question number, this is question number, let me see, 9. So for question number 9, what is the reason also I want? I have got the answers from two of you. Three of you now have got the answers. Okay. So let me show you the relevant piece of information. We have to see the reverse charge point or reverse charge value, the tax, the value on which tax will be paid under reverse charge by the, let me go to the question once again so that we can see. Yes, the question says Delhi HO and Odisha plant. So we are seeing the information relevant for Odisha plant and Delhi HO. First point 2 pertains to the Odisha plant. Then we have the information relating to Delhi HO. And then I will show you the table also. Let me zoom out a bit because that will help you in seeing the entire information at one place. ABC Security Services is not there for Odisha plant. So this is the information which is there for Odisha plant. Okay, Awadh has also given the reason. Very good, Awadh. Very, very good point. In fact, the catch which this question has, I think all of you have understood. So director sitting fees is there, CISF, Odisha plan. Okay, I got your point, Awadh. What you are trying to say, you are absolutely right in this. Any more answers from you? Otherwise, I will explain the concept. See, what is there in this question? Odisha and Delhi HO reverse charge services have to be seen. Okay, just give me a minute. I will let you know the point. Yes. So the Odisha plant purchased office furniture for rupees 2,80,000 during February. Let us zoom it out a bit because now we can see the relevant information and then we will scroll down. So Odisha plant purchased the office furniture for rupees 2,80,000 during February from an unregistered dealer. Now, as we already discussed, purchase from unregistered dealer does not attract reverse charge provision. So this is not going to be taxed under reverse charge. For Odisha plant, value is still zero. Let us see next information relating to HO, Delhi HO. It says that the board meeting was held in which each of the director was paid 20,000 each, and there were four directors. So when four directors were there, amount become four times, and it will become 80,000. Services provided by a director to a body corporate in the capacity of a director are taxable under reverse charge. But in this case, there are few clarifications which have been issued. First clarification which was issued earlier was that the director should not be an employee of the company. Now, if we see this question, we can easily see this 20,000 amount is not in the capacity of an employee because it is the sitting fees for attending the meeting. So this is in the capacity as as a board director, and therefore this will become taxable under reverse charge. Second point was that it should be in the capacity of director only. The service should be supplied in the capacity of director only, and it should not be in his personal capacity. Now, what is the example of the personal capacity? The example of personal capacity is the next sentence or next information which provides that the 80,000 rupees have been provided by has been paid to the director, to one of these directors who had rented the office building to Delhi HO. Now, the director has rented out a commercial building to the company. So the whether it will be taxable under reverse charge under the entry of director, which we are discussing, director services. No. This service of renting out of a commercial property is provided by a director in his personal capacity and not as a director of a company, because a director of a company is not liable to rent out the building. As a director, he is not obligated to do this. He has to attend the meeting. He has to take the policy decisions. He has to be involved in the company functioning. The managerial decisions of the company has to be taken. But he is not obligated to rent out property to the government. This he is doing in his personal capacity. So this entry does not get invoked for the reverse charge. But the question may come in some of yours mind that there is another entry, renting of property other than residential dwelling or residential property. So will it not come in that case, in that clause or that entry? No, it will not come in that entry, because there also it is mentioned that the service of renting of commercial property, or you can say property other than residential property, is taxable under reverse charge only when such service is provided by an unregistered person to a registered person. Now, here in this case, we have already mentioned in the in the first sentence that all the directors are registered. Company is also registered. That is not an issue. The recipient is registered, but here the supplier, that is the director, is also registered. So this entry will also not get attracted, and therefore the tax is not payable under reverse charge on 80,000 value. The first 20,000 into 4, that is 80,000, is taxable under reverse charge. So in this case, only 80,000 is taxable under reverse charge, not 1,60,000. I hope this point is clear to you. Now we come to the next point. The next point is the HO and power plants have received the security services. Now, Delhi HO and Odisha plant are what we are concerned with. Delhi HO has received the services of security from ABS Security Private Limited. So first of all, let us see Delhi HO, because till now we have not got any reverse charge amount for Odisha plant. So Odisha plant till now is zero, and Delhi HO we have got 80,000 for on account of the director's services. Now let us see if there is any addition to this amount or not. So the Delhi HO has received security services from ABS Security Private Limited. ABS Security Private Limited is a body corporate. Just now we discussed that security services provided by the body corporate, non-body corporate to a registered person are taxable under reverse charge. But if these services are provided by a body corporate, then they will not be taxable under reverse charge. And here Delhi HO is receiving security services from a body corporate. So they will not be taxed under reverse charge. So again, Delhi HO amount is 80,000. 5 lakh will not be added to the amount. Okay, Anshul is asking a query. I will let Anshul let you know. Odisha is receiving security services from the non-body corporate, that is CISF. So this 8 lakh amount, this becomes taxable under reverse charge. Why? Because these security services are provided by other than body corporate. Let us see any more transactions for Odisha. No transactions for Delhi. So finally, the amount of reverse charge came 80,000 for Delhi HO and 8 lakhs for Odisha plant, which is option B. That is 80,000 and 8 lakhs is the amount taxable under reverse charge. Now, Anshul has asked me a question. Anshul, you're asking for furniture. Let us see. Okay. You're saying that why Odisha plant, which has purchased office furniture from an unregistered person, why it is not taxable under reverse charge. I told you that this provision never got implemented. This provision had never been effective under GST law, that in case you are purchasing any supplies from an unregistered person, that means supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered. In that case, earlier it was envisaged that reverse charge will be invoked. But that provision never became effective. And therefore, in this case also, it is the same case, that the supplier is unregistered and recipient, that is Odisha plant, is registered. So reverse charge will not apply, because presently under GST law, there is no such provision that the unregistered supplies received from unregistered person are taxable under reverse charge. No, this is not there. Supplies received from unregistered person are not taxable under reverse charge. And in fact, GST will not be charged on them per se, because this person is unregistered. Rate of GST, though it is given to you, but he will not charge any GST. You are not liable to pay it under reverse charge. So you will also not pay GST on the same. And therefore, this transaction will go untaxed. There will be no tax on this transaction. Same is for the Bihar plant also, which we had seen. In case of the Bihar plant also, we had received the machinery from an unregistered person. So here also, this is mentioned that the person is unregistered. Sahu Enterprises machinery has been purchased from him. So rate of GST which is given, that will not be applied. This transaction will not be taxed under GST. So hope it clears your doubt, Anshul. Okay. Let us move to the next question. This question has a good point. It has 2 points which will be tested in one go. And I have started getting answers also, but let me read the question first. Which of the following statements is most appropriate with respect to sale of the Chhattisgarh plant, sale of metal scrap by Chhattisgarh plant? I will go to the relevant information, but let me see the question. GST, now which of the following statements is correct? GST on value of supply of 45,000 of metal scrap is payable by Birla scrappers under reverse charge. GST on value of supply of 45,000 of metal scrap is payable by Chhattisgarh plant under forward charge. GST on value of supply of 45,450 of metal scrap is payable by Chhattisgarh plant under forward charge. Sale under Income Tax Act 1961 is exempt supply under GST. So the question says that what would be the value of supply, and what would be who will be the person liable to pay tax on this particular transaction. Let us see. This transaction, I have to zoom out a bit because we need to see the entire sentence, or let me read it out for you. See, this is the Chhattisgarh plant. The information relating to Chhattisgarh plant is given in last column of the table. That is, Chhattisgarh plant has sold the metal scrap worth rupees 45,000, covered under Chapter 72. This amount excludes the TCS at the rate of 1%, which is leviable in this case as per Income Tax Act. And this metal scrap has been sold to Birla Scrappers, which is unregistered under GST. So you have to tell me that what would be the value of supply and who is the person liable to pay tax. Let me see the answers which I have got. Avadh, your answer is right. Avadh, you need to tell me whether it will be under forward charge or reverse charge. So this itself gives us a hint that yes, this metal scrap is somewhere related to reverse charge. And Sajja is telling the answer. Yes, Sajja, you are absolutely right. And give me reason why the particular option is correct. Avadh, you are right. So you all have understood the concept now. That is very good. In fact, very few wrong answers I have got for this particular question. And I'm happy to see that. That means this question actually had some tricky points. So if you are answering it correctly, in fact, for the previous question, those who have not answered it correctly, this shows that they are focusing more on substantive provisions and they are actually ignoring the enforcement provisions, and particularly chapters which are given in module 3 of the study material. They are equally important. So no selective study for this paper. Please go for the comprehensive study for this particular paper. Okay, so any more answers? Prashant, Sunil, where are all of you? Anshul, if you can give the answer to me. Okay, so let us see the point here. What is the issue here? Sale of metal scrap is first of all, let us see whether this TCS amount will be included in the value or not. TCS is just an interim levy, and therefore TCS is not included in the value of taxable supply as per GST. In fact, the correct way of levying tax here is, or computing taxes on 45,000. First of all, GST will be levied at the rate of 18%. That will come out to, I had already computed that amount. That will come out to be 8,100 if we compute 18% of 4,500. And if we add that amount to 45,000, that will become 53,100. So that is the value of, that is the total value including tax. Value of supply for GST is 45,000, 18% GST levied on it. TCS we will not include. It is an interim levy. It is not includable in the value of supply as per GST law. And therefore, 45,000 plus 18% of 45,000, which makes the value as 53,100. That will be the amount on which TCS will be computed at the rate of 1% for the Income Tax Act. Next question which comes is whether this is leviable under forward charge or reverse charge. Let me see two answers which I have received. Okay, Prashant is saying I had already given the answer. No, Prashant is not saying. Okay, Anshul is saying 45,000. Anshul, you are right to this extent, 45,000. And Avadh is saying since Chhattisgarh branch is registered. Yes, Avadh, you have given the right reasoning. So whether forward charge is applicable or reverse charge is applicable, let us see that. In this case, in the sale of metal scrap is an entry under the reverse charge notification for goods, that is notification number 4 by 2017. This provides that any metal scrap which is sold by an unregistered dealer to a registered person will be taxed under reverse charge. Now, if you see, the supplier should be unregistered. Here, the Chhattisgarh plant is a registered person. Avadh, you have correctly pointed out the reason. And in fact, this is the reason, Sajja has also given the correct reason to me for this particular question, that the supplier is registered, recipient is unregistered. And because of that, the question becomes, or the transaction becomes not taxable under reverse charge. Reverse charge provisions will not apply because your supplier is registered. Though in fact, your recipient is unregistered. The entry says that recipient should be a registered person. It is the other way around here. It is the vice versa case which is covered in our question. So therefore, the tax cannot be paid under reverse charge. Tax will be paid under forward charge. And that is why the question, so in this question, the sale of metal scrap will be subject to forward charge taxation and the TCS amount will not be included while computing the tax. I hope you get the provision clear in this particular question. Okay, let us see the correct option. Let us see which is the correct option now. So tax will be paid by whom? Chhattisgarh plant. The correct option will be GST on value of supply of 45,000 of metal scrap is payable by Chhattisgarh plant under forward charge. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Let us come to the last question of this particular scenario. Okay, Anshul, now you got this point. Good. So last point is, or last question is, which of the following supplies is, or which of the following supplies are not taxable under reverse charge mechanism? Choose the most correct option. House rent recovered from the employees for residential accommodation provided to them. Rent collected from bank, ATM, post office, and shops located in office premises. Sale of metal scrap covered under Chapter 72 to Birla scrappers. Now, out of this, which combination of supplies is not taxable or are not taxable under reverse charge? One of these entries we had already covered. Other two, in fact, you have to see. Good, Sajja, good, Avad. You're giving the right answers. This shows that the provisions are clear to you. So let others also see the question, and if they are able to find the answers, I want these answers in the chat box. So those of you who are not giving the answers today, at least you have understood the concept, and please go through these questions again so that these concepts are clear to you. Okay, Anshul, you have given the answer. At least you are trying to attempt the question. That makes me happy that you are trying to attempt. Prashant, you are right. Those who are attempting the questions, they will definitely understand it better than those who are not trying. Because if you are trying to answer, you understand the concept. Even if you are wrong, you tend to remember it for long, that I was wrong because of this reason. Now I will not commit this mistake again. So let us see the question, the reasoning for the, or the correct option, first of all. Reasoning for each of the transactions or each of the outward supplies, which is given in the question. Question covers three entries. Okay, three outward supplies. House rent recovered, rent collected, and sale of metal scrap. These are the three entries which are covered in this particular question. That whether these transactions are taxable under reverse charge or they are taxable under forward charge. Now, house rent recovered from the employees for residential accommodation provided to them. Avadh has also given the correct answer now. So, Prashant, Avadh, you're right. You have given the reasoning also. And let us see each of these entries. House rent recovered from the employees for residential accommodation. Now we saw that under the reverse charge notification 13 by 2017, services provided by residential dwelling are uh, are liable to reverse charge, but only cases that first of all they should be taxable. Now, house rent which is recovered from the employees for residential accommodation, we had already seen that it is exempt from GST. So the question of them being levied under forward charge or reverse charge, this question arises only when it is liable to GST. House rent recovered is exempt from GST. We have already seen that the residential dwelling services are being provided to the unregistered person. So therefore, they are not liable to GST. Now, when they are not liable to GST, they cannot be taxed under forward charge or reverse charge per se. So first, house rent recovered is not taxable under reverse charge. That is the first point. Second is sale of metal scrap. Now, sale of metal scrap, we have already discussed at length that yes, it is not covered under reverse charge. The reason also we have discussed that the supplier is registered and recipient is unregistered. For getting included in reverse charge, it should have been the other way around. And the third point is rent collected from bank, ATM, post office, and shops located in office premises. Now, in this point, if you see, this is a service of renting of commercial property. Now, service of renting of commercial property is taxable under reverse charge only when the supplier is unregistered and recipient is registered. Whereas in our case, supplier is registered. Recipient, we do not know who is there, but if supplier is registered, so you cannot apply reverse charge provisions per se. So in the first place itself, reverse charge provisions get excluded, and therefore this particular transaction is, none of these transactions are taxable under reverse charge. Therefore, the option which is correct in question 11 is option B. Okay. So therefore, option now, Anshul, house rent, you must have got the point that house rent is not taxable at all. That is why reverse charge provisions will not apply. Okay, you got the point? Good. So I think with this, we come to an end of this session of your success at CA exams. And I hope you will take note of all these points, all the concepts discussed today, all the tips which we have provided in between the discussion of the technical discussion. We have provided you certain exam related tips also. Thank you, Prashant. So you should be making use of them, and you should appear for your exam with full confidence, full rigor. Whatever time is left, please try to make full use of it, and don't waste even a single minute now. Now, this is the time when you have to actually perform. And whatever time is left, whatever you have completed, not completed, give your 100% and try to attempt your examination with full rigor and confidence. So, all the best. Thank you, Avad. Thank you. Yes, Swati, you want to add something? Thank you, Sajja.
Thank you and all the best. Don't lose the confidence at the last moment. Whatever you have studied till now, that just
Thank
get
you,
up your
Anshul.
confidence and come out with flying colors. All the best to all of
Yes. We are expecting that all of you will succeed in the forthcoming exam, and you will inform us that yes, you have passed. Many
you. Have
of you
become
will become
chartered
chartered
accountant.
accountant. Yes. Those who are appearing for both groups or whose one group is left, they might become a chartered accountant also. And we wish that you inform us about your success. All the best.
All the best.
Sajay is saying, if possible, please give one more session next Friday. Okay, Sajay, if possible. But in the meantime, we'll suggest you that you should see the series one BOS session also. Have you
So,
seen that session, Sajja? The earlier session, the BOS for Success series one. Go through that also. And if
because we
possible,
are
we'll
sure,
arrange one more session. Yes, Swati,
because
you
we are
want to add
sure,
something?
yeah, because we are sure if you will see the previous session, your whatever doubts you have and the reason you are asking for the another session, that will automatically be
Yes.
fulfilled. All your doubts will get clarified if you will see the first session. Because what are the general queries students we have? We have already took up the all the queries, all the commonly committed errors, and all the key points which you need to bear in mind. That itself will get clarified if you see the session one.
Yes. But still, you can let us know. And all the best to all of you for your forthcoming exam. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.